All right, everybody mute for me so that I can start the recording. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So this morning I'm just going to base the class off of what one of the live students asked me. So we're talking about chaturanga, right? And I tell people that come through teacher training that there's a few poses as a yoga teacher that you are just going to struggle to get people to do right. One is down dog. The other is triangle, because everybody thinks the floor is the goal. I've never gotten a cookie by going to the floor. And the other is chaturanga. So let me show you in a standing position what the movement of chaturanga should look like from a plank position. So you're in plank, right? So imagine this is plank. Notice my hands aren't up here, right? My hands are really back down here. So if I drew a line, like the back of center of my palm is what's level with the top of my shoulder, right? You see that? Rather than like the heel of the hand level with the top of the shoulder, or even way back here, right? All right, so we've got this position. So when we lower in chaturanga, our body is actually shifting forward so that the elbows come along the sides, like what I described, little T-Rex arms, right? Or chicken wings, right? And so notice I didn't go all the way back here with my elbows. My elbows stopped here. Now from a forward position, this is what it looks like. Now traditional teaching will tell you middle fingers forward. There's a lot of stuff in traditional teaching that needed to be tweaked, right? I feel like, and after 20 years of teaching and seeing what I see in anatomy, that and following along the lines with what anatomy trained me to understand, is that these index fingers should be at 12 o'clock. So I talk about your second toes being at 12 o'clock because they line up with your shins, right? And generally line your feet up forward, so no matter what shape your foot is at 12 o'clock if your second toes are forward. Well, these are your second toes, just on your hands. So if your second toes are forward, or second fingers, right, are forward, then generally you're gonna have the shoulders opening up, right, and rolling back, which will allow the elbows to come in along the side, right about here, elbows to come in along the sides, rather than having the fingers turned in a little bit. Then the elbows come in like this. Now this is a cool dance, but not really a cool, there's no strength in that, right? So when you're lowering down, you have to be able to shift your weight forward and draw those elbows back. So watch as I come into a plank position. Go ahead and knock out a few chaturangas first. Why not? Why not? So notice when my hands are down, I'm essentially still in mountain pose from my legs to the crown of my head. So that means that my heels are lined up with the balls of my feet, right? As I go to lower down, that's when I'm rocking forward towards the toes part. Once I get down, that makes it easy for me to just roll over those toes and come to the tops of the feet for my up dog, right? So those of you who can't roll over toes yet, you still need the forward motion. So it's not a straight down motion. It is, I'm shifting forward so that my heart would land in front of the fingertips, so that the elbows are just coming back, and it's an open chest mechanism. So that's your little chaturanga lesson today. What I can say for those of you who cannot do like a quality chaturanga from your knees or plank from your knees actually works your core more. So this is what I mean by that, right? Why does that work your core more? Because the distance between the two foundational points, being your hands and your feet or your hands and your knees, is smaller and more concentrated when you're on your knees. Therefore, it's concentrating it into the core more rather than having the break in the knees to add into that, right? And it's another reason why when you bring your elbows down onto the floor, for your planks, forearm plank itself is more difficult because now you've got like this new alignment, this new anatomy coming in. So that's your little chaturanga lesson for today. Those of you who are joining me for class, come onto your mat, index fingers at 12 o'clock, thigh bones create 11s or parallel on your mat. Exhale, you'll round. On your inhale, you'll drop your belly, turn your face and tailbone upward. So go back and forth through your cat-cows. I'm going to try to get some music on and see if my music plays and cooperates today. It hasn't been lately, you know. Welcome to the way the world works sometimes, right? I can't remember if I hooked this up to anybody else or not.
Bye-bye.
Nope. All right, guys, continue to cat-cow. Exhale, rounds the spine. Inhale, drops the belly. All that fun stuff. Maybe even become a little more organic. So as I get this music shimmied up here, maybe circle the head.
Angel.
I know it talks to me. It's ridiculous.
I am connected.
I am connected. So as you come on to more of an organic movement, shifting your shoulders, circling your head, your neck, all that fun stuff. We go play. Maybe. If you'd like to come to a down dog, do so. There we go. And so tuck your toes. So toes are at 12 o'clock. So your second toes are parallel with the edges of the mat. The index fingers are parallel with the edges of the mat. You're going to bend one knee, straighten the other leg. Start to move around, start to walk your dog, scooping and following the low belly. And start to feel your breath, experience your breath as you move. Experience all, hi Loki, the dog has joined. I'm teaching right now. Here. Okay, Lord. Okay, go lay down. All right. So from here, let's go ahead and make our way to the top of the mat. So as we come to the top of the mat, second toes at 12 o'clock, feet are about 2 fist distance apart, about 4 inches. You're going to bend your knees, let those arms hang. You're going to roll all the way up to standing, finding your mountain pose. So in mountain pose, we're even setting up that chaturanga upper body. So from mountain pose, my palms lightly roll forward, which is opening my upper arms, right? On my next inhale, I'm going to sweep my arms, rotating my palms out to sweep them up. On my exhale, I'm going to rotate my palms out to forward fold. Hands come down on the mat. Bring your hands onto your shins. Inhale comes halfway up, flatten your back, lifting to your Betty Boop. Exhale, hands down, step back with your left foot, low lunge. If you're balanced, you can float your low lunge today. Exhale, hands down, step back to your down dog. Inhale, floats to your plank. Exhale, lowers halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left foot high, inhale. Exhale, left foot steps, low lunge. Get the foot up there so the heel is underneath the knee. Float on your next inhale. Hands down, step forward and fold. Hands to shins, inhale. Exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, ride that breath all the way up. Reach up, stretch up, look up. Go right back into it. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold, hands down, feel your breath. Bring your hands to your shins, come halfway up, inhaling. Exhaling, putting the hands down as the right foot back, steps back, low lunge. Inhale, floating low lunge. Hands down, step back to down dog, hips are high. Inhale, floats to plank, push-up position. You can drop to your knees if you want, work that core. Exhale, lowers halfway. Inhale, up dog, tops of your feet. Exhale, down dog. Left foot, right foot high, reach it up. Right foot steps, if you need to help it up, grab it, pull it up. Inhale, float. Hands down, step forward and fold. Exhale. Inhale, lift halfway up, Betty Boop. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Hands to shins, inhale. Exhale, hands down, left foot steps back, low lunge. Inhale, float. Exhale, hands down, step back, down dog. Inhale, floats to plank. Drop to your knees if you'd like. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left foot high, inhale. Exhale, steps to low lunge. Inhale, float. Exhale, step forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up, reach up, stretch up. Go into it one more time. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Hands to shins, inhale. Exhale, hands down, right foot back, low lunge. Inhale, floating low lunge if you have it in your practice. Exhale, down dog, hips are high. Inhale, floats to plank. Lower. Up dog. Down dog. Right foot to ceiling. Right foot steps through. Floating low lunge. Hands down, step forward, fold. Exhale, feel your breath. Inhale, float halfway up. On that inhale, expand. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, rise the breath all the way up. Hands come at your sides this time. Move your big toes together. Wonderful. Inhale, chair pose. Sit back, sweep those arms up, squeeze those palms, hollow out the low belly. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lifts halfway up. Now exhale, plant your hands firmly with your elbows already starting to bend, step back into that motion of the chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. So the reason that we start doing that, you can stay in down dog for a moment, you can kind of peek up here at me for a second. When you learn to jump back, you can't jump back with straight arms, it'll blow your rotator cuffs. So learning to do this part of the practice in this vinyasa helps you so when you get ready to jump back, it's nice and soft, all right? On your next exhale, you're gonna look at the top of your mat. You're gonna bend your knees at the very end of that exhale. You do a little hop and go right into the Betty Boop of your posture, right? Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Mountain pose. Chair. Sit back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Step or hop back with bent elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Now you can stay here or ramp up your practice by stepping your right foot up, spinning your back heel down. Inhale comes up, warrior one. As soon as you're up, you're down, chaturanga. You can do a three-legged one if you want. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left foot scoots forward. Right heel pivots down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. We're here for 5 breaths. Inhale, 1. 2. 3. Inhale, 4. Bending the knees at the very end of the next exhale, hop to your Betty Boot. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Chair pose, big toes are touching. Inhale. Mountain pose. Exhale, feel your breath. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Hands flat, step or hop back. Up dog. Exhale, down dog. Allow that right foot to step forward. Warrior one. Inhale, comes up. As soon as you're up, you're down. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog, left foot forward. Inhale, Vera one. Exhale, lower. Up dog. Down dog, 5 breaths. You can take a child's pose here if you'd like. Inhale, 1. At the end of the next exhale, hop to the top of the mat. Inhale into your Betty Boot. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Mountain pose. Wonderful. All right. Inhale, chair pose. Sit back. Press your heels down into the mat and pretend you're trying to stretch your mat wider with your heels. Your outer glutes will fire up. Inhale, 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift your heart halfway. Exhale, step or hop back through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, take your left leg high. Exhale as left foot steps dead center of the hands, but shorter step than warrior two, so don't go past the line of your thumbs. Spin the back foot flat, so you essentially have warrior 2 feet. We're coming up for triangle poses. So you are heel to heel, heel to arch alignment, front foot's at 12 o'clock, back foot is what, 245, right? So open up those arms, flip the left palm, take the right hand down the right thigh. How tall can you get through this left hand? Gaze up at the left palm, inhale 1. Squeeze the feet together as though you're trying to shorten your mat. 2. 3. 4. Inhale 5, comes up. Make sure this front knee isn't locked out, right? So it's right there before lock. Come out over that front leg. Open your arms 6 and 12. So this is a shortened triangle. Your hand may or may not go to the floor, but that's not the goal. The goal is to be able to hold your upper body over this front leg strongly with the core, right? If I touch the floor, it kind of takes some of that weight off of it, right? So breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. Maybe the back of the left hand presses to the inner calf. The inner calf presses into the hand. Those of you who want to drop the top arm behind the back, maybe even bringing the fingers around towards that left thigh, may do so. Squeezing the feet towards one another will shift this inner left hip back more. For 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Wonderful. Pivot your chest towards the floor. Put your hands along that, along the front foot. From here, I'm going to ask you to take the left foot to sky. We're going to play for a second. So look at your right foot. It's going to do 3 little hops towards the top of your mat. Maybe get some little handstanding play in there. And come into your standing splits. So standing splits, hands are down, face is going towards the shin. You might even take one hand to the standing leg, maybe even both if you're feeling froggy. Wonderful. Put both hands down, bring both feet down. Turn the toes out to 10 and 2 so that they're about shoulder distance apart. Yogi squat. So when you sit in yogi squat, you're actually trying to, so if my hands were behind my knees, I would be trying to like clamp and squeeze my hands with my legs. So that's the feeling. Squeeze the backs of your legs towards one another. Elbows wedge in, gaze goes to fingertips for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands down, index fingers at 12 o'clock. Lift the hips, pivot the toes forward to the back of the wrists. Bring the knees up to the armpits and bend the elbows back. So this is as though we're going into crow, but we're not. I call it faux crow. Faux show, faux crow, right? So I'm not touching my knees to my arms. I'm coming over so that my forearms are starting to come perpendicular. I feel some weight in my hands. I feel my belly pulling back from the floor for 4, 3, 2. Now look at how your elbows are already bent. See if you can hop back. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, take that right leg high. Right foot steps. In between hands, no further forward than your thumbs. Spin the back heel down, come up, preparing for your triangle series. Arms extend out, front foot is at 12 o'clock, back foot is, what, like 9:15? Right, front leg is not locked out, so see what happens at lock. See that last little pop? Bring it out of that space so that you're actually holding the leg there. Flip that front palm, reverse your warrior. As you extend up, think about this back leg nice and straight like a kickstand on a motorcycle. You begin to push the floor away with this back leg to lift this right hand for 4 more. Feel as though your feet are trying to squeeze together, scrunch your mat. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come up out of that. Make sure this front knee isn't locked. We're coming over into our Trikonasana, our triangle pose. The back of the right hand presses to the inner calf muscle as the inner calf presses into the hand. That allows you to roll this left rib cage back, taking the arm up higher. Feel as though you are trying to shorten your mat, squeeze your feet together. It'll slide the right inner hip back. For 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Pivot your chest down. Come onto the toes of the back foot. We're going to take that right leg to the sky. So that front foot comes back to a 3-legged dog. Now looking at your left foot, your standing foot, do 3 little handstand hops forward towards the top of your mat. 1, 2, and 3. Once you make it as close as you can to your hands, you're coming into standing splits. One or both hands can be on the standing leg. Wonderful. Release that right foot down. Come into Malasana Yogi Squat. Toes are either at 1 and 11 or 10 and 2. Heels are down. If your heels don't go all the way down, you can always take the back of the mat, kind of roll it up underneath the heels. But this is Eastern stretch, not Western stretch. Your heels need to be down. And so once again, to get lower in this, you pretend that you're squeezing something in between your calf and your hamstring. Wonderful. Put the hands down. We're doing faux crow again, faux show, right? So hands are down, index fingers are at 12 o'clock. Rotate the toes so they point to the back of the wrists. Lift your heels, put your knees close to your triceps, bend your elbows back underneath the shins, rock the weight forward so the nose goes past the fingertips. For 4, notice nothing is really resting here. 3, 2, and 1. Hop back, up dog, and down dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale as the left foot steps up by left thumb. Stay on the ball of the back foot. Anjane, high runner's lunge. Reach those arms up. Now, bringing those hands into prayer position. Bringing your chest out over that front left thigh. Bring the right elbow across the knee. And so what we're doing is we're pressing the elbow into the knee, the thigh into the elbow. That enables us to pull our belly back from our inner thigh and turn our rib cage. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, come up, warrior 2. So you spin that back foot flat and walk the distance between your feet a little bit longer. Open it up. Let's do some side body. Take that left arm high, reverse your warrior. Gaze up at the top hand, bend the front knee to deepen this back bend. Bend that front knee more. Where's your mind? Where's your breath? Utilize that next inhale to come up. Put those hands down. We're going back to that 3-legged dog. Left foot steps back. Right? So this time we're going to do little hops to the top of the mat, and then we're going to make little hops on our way back, right? So little handstand hops. Maybe try to catch a little L-shaped handstand in between. The foot comes closer to the hand each time. Once you make it towards the top of the mat, you lift that left leg high. Maybe you take the right hand to the ankle, bow to the standing leg. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go ahead and put both hands down if they're not already. We're making our way back to that 3-legged dog. So that left leg kicks up and you start to move yourself back. Wonderful. Now let's inhale, float to a plank position. Drop your right knee down. Trust me, you'll want to. All right? From here, we're gonna lower halfway. We're gonna come to that up dog. See if you can lift both legs. Keep that left leg off the floor. Bend that left knee. Roll over, flip your dog. Flip it back over. You can either flow or go to your down dog. We will all meet there. Wonderful. Inhale, right foot high. Exhale, just right foot steps. Up by that thumb, we're coming into our crescent, our Anjane, high runner's lunge. From here, we're bringing those hands into prayer. We're taking that spiral twist over that front thigh. That right knee and thigh presses into the elbow. The hands press together and the top rib cage rolls back. Where's your mind? Where's your breath? Focus on your breathing. You can't get full breath, you're working too hard. Inhale comes up, warrior two. Flip that front palm, reverse your warrior. Inhale comes up. Plant those hands down. Take that right foot, the front foot, back to the sky. So remember, we're doing, my mat keeps sliding on this floor. Slide it back, we'll be in the plant soon. All right, so we're doing that standing splits, but we have to get there through our little handstand hops, right? So 3 little hops forward. Maybe try to catch a little handstand in between. All right, so left hand onto left ankle, right leg high. Wonderful. Hands down. Guess what? We got to get back. 3 little hops back. 1. And it might look like that. 2. And 3. Right? Nice and easy. Inhale, float to plank. Drop that left knee. Go halfway down. Lift that left knee. Bend the right leg. Roll over. Flip your dog. Come back over. Chaturanga. Up dog. Child's pose. Walk it back. Let that head rest. And so, in this child's pose, if you want to do your wrists a little like this, move them around a little bit, you can do that. And then I'm going to have you come up and tuck your toes under and sit back onto your heels. So I'm going to distract you by telling a story. So all 10 toes are tucked. Heels. Some of you, man, this is really ringing your bell. So if you need to, you can put your hands down forward on floor blocks. You're just trying to move your butt back. Get some weight over those feet. Once upon a time, I suffered from carpal tunnel and plantar fasciitis and stuff. It's about making our feet and our hands as strong as they can. So we're about to be in flip-flops and sandals and stuff all the time. So we really need to start to strengthen the plantar of our foot, right? I know, I can feel it through the video. I don't even at you right now. You're all like, I get it. Okay. So go ahead and bring your hands forward. Shiatsu those feet. All right. So from here, I'm going to ask you to bring your knees together and take your feet out. For some of you, you will need to sit up on a pillow or a block. So knees together, feet outside the hips a little bit. You can sit on a block. This is hero's pose. Not for sure why this is called hero's pose. Yeah, I never researched it. It didn't resemble an animal or any hero I've seen, so. Right. So for me personally, I don't feel this sitting up onto a block, so I might drop a little lower today, right? The ultimate space that you're working towards is sitting on the floor in between your feet. Draw a straight line from my second toe and bisect the center of my feet, so my feet aren't curling in underneath me. Some people might feel this in the top of their feet. Some people might feel this in their shins, in their knees. Once we go laying back some more so you can actually take the hands back. If your butt is on the floor or close to it, you can take the hands back and it'll transfer some of the opening into the thighs themselves. Good job, guys. All right, go ahead and come up nice and easy. Bring those legs forward. Ow, wood blocks do not feel good to sit on. All right, so take your legs forward. Tell your knees you still love them. And a little massage. All right, so we are going into some boat and some lifting. So if you have blocks, this will make this as easy as this little session's gonna get. All right, so I'm gonna turn to you so that you can see. So basically, I am going to bring my blocks a little bit forward of my thighs, and I am going to try to sit up really straight. So you feel those little sit bones, you wanna get on top of those sit bones. You don't wanna be rocked back to your tailbone and taking the power of this posture into your low back. So fingertips onto the blocks, which are forward of your hips, more lined up with your knees. Lift your knees up. Those of you who are overachievers can take the legs straight. I'm going to turn to the side now. Now, inhale 1, 2, collarbones are broad. 3, stretch those toes out, put them in the sunlight. Right? All right, so over left, knees into chest, hands are on blocks. Lift, put it back down. Bring it back into your boat. You can bend the knees if you need to. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Left over right. Lift, and put it down. Boat. Right over left, lift, put it down, last one. Left over right, lift, see if you can come onto your knees, or come onto your knees. If you can do it from that way, then great. If not, great. I've still not gotten a cookie for any Cirque du Soleil stuff I've ever done. All right, so you're going to take these blocks now and bring them back in between your heels. Now, if you don't have blocks at home, not everybody does. And so, in the case of trying to lift, you weren't getting very high because you didn't have blocks, right? But it's really the effort of trying to lift in that last. It's not how high you come off the floor necessarily. Here, you can leave the hands, or if you're able to bring the hands to the heels, that's great. Knees are thigh bone distance apart, so if you look down at your thighs, they're parallel. You can take the fists into the back, you can take the fingertips up, and that's how we're going to start. So squeeze the blocks with the big toe, or squeeze the big toe knuckles inward, which will make your knees activate inward, not move together though. And then don't let, if you have blocks, don't let your heels touch the blocks as you squeeze them, right? So take your camel, Those of you who can drop the hands to the blocks or even the heels may do so. But we're squeezing inward with the big toe. Where's your mind? Where's your breath? Check in. Use your inhale to come up. Take your hands down. We're doing a little shorty down dog. So take your toes right where they are, tuck them. Try to move your chest back to the thighs in those blocks. Wonderful. You're going to come down all fours again. We're going to bring our, let's bring our left foot forward so that I can show you. If your knee is being wonky because it's on the floor and stuff, you can actually take the edge out and roll it up, and that makes it better. This time the top of the foot is going to be down, the left foot is coming forward, right? And so I want to make sure that this left foot is directly underneath, or underneath the knee itself. I'm going to take my right and my left hand high to start off. So I'm going to walk that foot forward so I can feel just a little bit of length and rooting in that foot. But I don't want it like out here, right? I don't want this going on, right? We're still pretty upright. From here, you're going to lift up, lift up, lift up. You're going to take the left hand down, see if you can bring it to the blocks. Take the right hand and extend it back. Start to extend the right hip forward, root, pull like a Russian dancer, you know, with the left foot for 4. Everything is moving forward and up. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale comes up out of it. You're going to step back to that little shorty down dog again. Now, if you need to furrow the left side of your mat, do so. Otherwise, you can go ahead and bring that right foot forward and come up into those stag looking legs, right? So from here, get that root going on. Make sure you're nice and strong. We're going to inhale, lift both arms up. And then when both arms are up, I'm going to bring the right hand onto the block behind me. I'm going to let everything still kind of pull forward with that right foot, pull up with the heart. Where's your mind? Where's your breath? Inhale comes up. Exhale takes your down dog. You can remove the blocks out of the way. Look at the top of the mat. Make your way to a seated position. The way you want to get there. I was going to jump through, but not today. Not today. All right. So we're going to try to go into half heroes pose. Some of you, half heroes is not your friend for knee issues, whatever. So you have 2 choices for this next hip opener. You can lean into the left hand and just draw your right foot back and get that stretch here, really projecting out through the left foot. You can into half hero, where the foot is down and you're just kind of sitting up. You can come into the full version of this posture by taking your hands or a strap around that left foot and straightening it out. So I noticed my left hip was shifted back a little bit, so I'm going to adjust that. In through the nose, out through the nose. Inhale 1. 2. 3. Now those of you with the leg up like me can take the right hand to the outside of the foot and left hand behind you and deepen the twist. But only if your foot is up. Otherwise you're still working whatever posture you're in. Now, wherever you're at, everybody will bring the left heel in front of the right knee. So it kind of looks like that, right? Right? So even if you're here, you're just going to bring that knee in and set it down to the best of the ability. You might be leaning over still. From this position, those of you who can bring that left heel up into the hip will do so. We're all going to rotate. Right? For 4, looking over your right shoulder. 3, 2, and 1. Rotating the other way. Taking outside of the left leg. Those of you open to it can bring this left hand all the way around and grab this left foot as you twist. Where's your mind? Where's your breath? Can you get a full breath in? If you cannot get a full breath in, you're too deep in the stretch. Wonderful. From here, we're going to unpretzel. We're going to put our hands down. We're going to step back plank. You can either hold the plank or you can go through the full flow of plank, up dog, down dog. Right? Those of you who want to jump to the top of the mat, that's fine. Otherwise, you can crawl. So from here, we're going to go into that same position on the other side. Top of the right leg goes long. You might just grab the left foot, pull it into your bum, really pull that knee back so you get a stretch down the front of the leg. You might come into half heroes, just kind of sitting out, hanging out. You might be a glutton for punishment, right? And do a little more. So as I'm doing this, I'm really like checking out my lack of pedicure. Right, I'm spreading the toes. We call it Barbie foot, so it looks like you have a permanent high heel on. So I'm spreading the toes, but I'm pressing through the bottom of the foot like I'm pressing into a gas pedal of a car, a race car that I stole. We're out of here, right? And then extending through the heel. All parts of the leg are engaged. Taking the left hand, if you're up like me, on the outside of the foot, and then taking the right hand back. Keep that heart open and lifted, the waistline corseted. Wonderful. Back around. We're going to now put that foot down either in front of the left knee, or if you're feeling froggy, you can put it up into the hip. We're going to turn towards our feet. And then we're going to rotate back the other way. Now those of you who want to take the right hand behind your back, try to grab a hold of that foot, gives you that extra shoulder stretch. So as we come into this twist, these are called binds. And so what they do is they work on pressing the lymph system, and they also compress the nervous system. So they give you a sense of release and relaxation once we start to come, especially deeper into practice. Wonderful. Go ahead and release. Nice and easy. We're going to swing that leg out. We're going to make our way back. Chaturanga. Up dog. And down dog. Very good. From this space, I want you to turn your toes out 10 and 2. Right? You're going to bend your knees out like you're doing a little frog, kind of froggy down doggy kind of squat thing. No official yoga name for this one, right? So my knees are wide, I'm squatting back. I'm pushing my hips back for 4, 3, 2, and 1. nice and easy. We're gonna bring our knees down. We're gonna come onto all fours. We're gonna bring the left hand center. We're gonna do this in a movement, and then we'll lay stretch. So you're gonna inhale, take that right arm high, hips and low back level as you twist through the rib cage, and then come back down. Inhale takes the arm up. Exhale brings that hand down. Inhale takes the arm up. Exhale brings it down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Really stabilizing with this left arm. Inhale up. Down. Inhale up. Now take the right hand to the top of your mat. Bring your big toes together. Slide the left arm underneath you and palm up. So the arm that was working, standing arm, is the one that's stretched right now. Take a deep inhale in. See if you can retain the breath for 5, 4, 3, 2. Pull the breath out. Utilize the inhale. Bring it all the way in. Feel the stretch. Breathing deep. Retain the breath. Pause. Exhale, let the breath go. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhaling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, you'll come up, all fours. Down it. Pretend you're Tawny Katane on top of the Trans Am in the White Snake video. I like to show my age sometimes, right? Alright, so knees are underneath hips. Right hand is underneath your face. You're going to use the inhale. Take the left arm high. Bring it back down to give a little tap. Inhale takes it up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last one. Inhale up. And then this time, left hand comes forward. Big toes come together. Right arm threads under, palm faces up. Really feeling that stretch all the outer shoulder, outer arm. And so as you go into the breath, this is starting to take on the cadence of the end of the class. So as we go into this breath, you feel that inhale come in. You feel the pause linger. It's not a hold of the breath. There's not a restriction per se. It is this swimming space where the breath doesn't need to do anything. And then the exhale really stretches out twice as long as the inhale. And so do that for a couple more rounds. Wonderful. Go ahead and come up. Make your way to a seated position. So come onto our back. I tend to do any little spinal twist that's enjoyable for them. Typically, let me pause this music. So a really good spinal twist today, probably one of my faves. So if you need to watch up here for a second. I'm going to figure 4 my left ankle like I'm drinking beer on Sunday, right? With that, I'm going to bend my, bring my knees to me just a little bit, and I'm going to land on the outside of this right leg right here. So as I drop onto this right hip. Notice the whole outer right leg is on the floor. And the purpose of that is just simply to lock this left foot in so it's up towards like the height of my navel in this twist. I'm going to reach my left arm out to the side. I'm going to take my right hand, wiggle your right fingers, identify your right hand, and this knee that's lifted, our left knee, I'm actually going to press it away from my body. So that's the purpose of this right foot being here. If I was to press without that leg being here, my left foot would just slide away from me, right? And so as you turn and look over your shoulder, you should feel this really nice, yummy stretch all through the psoas, the inner bowl of the pelvis, the side of the waist. Wonderful. From here, I'm going to ask you to unpretzel the legs. Let the top leg come up first, and then bring both knees into chest. Maybe rock a little left and right. Wonderful. Figure 4, right ankle, drinking beer on Sunday. Drop legs over onto the left. The whole outer left leg is on the floor so that it locks the right foot into place. Right hand goes out. You're going to take the left palm and push the leg away from the core. So you feel that nice long side body stretch. Wonderful. Unpretzel, roll onto your back. Half is completely appropriate. All right, so we're going to take our legs. Rock left and right. Finish up, get all your little wiggles out before you come flat onto your back for your Shavasana. And so as you get all the wiggles and stuff out, make sure that you lay onto your back comfortably. If you have something to eyes, please do. Those of you who have been joining me online, because you have the benefit of being at home for a lot of the time, I have been ending the meditations where I just tell you namaste and kind of stay there for as long as you can, because you have the advantage of doing that. And ultimately, that's what you would want to do. It's not always available when you're coming into the studio. So those of you who are joining me for meditation, just know that I won't pull you up and namaste you out in the same way that I normally would in the studio for this class. Sometimes I do. This class I meditation. So for you on the floor, getting all your little wiggles out, find your last bit of wiggle and come to stillness. Once you feel stillness, make sure your shoulders are not in your ears. Release the tongue from the roof of the mouth, all that good stuff. As you begin to settle in, I want you to focus on the breath. I want you to feel the inhale start at the low belly, the low lungs, the upper lungs, that gentle pause, and then feel the breath come from the upper lungs, the middle lungs, the low lungs, the belly. And so it's much like you're filling and emptying a glass of water, right? And so breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, and we'll put a little music on in the background. so watching the breath, watching it start at the base. With the inhale, it moves all the way up your spine to below the collarbones. Don't bring the breath into the throat. You swim in that place of pause. And then you feel the exhale release from the top of the lungs as it drifts down to the low belly. The mind begins to wander from the breath. It's okay. Just bring it back. Don't judge it. Don't fight it. Just try to move the current of your thoughts where you want. It's kind of like directing a stream, right? So feeling the breath roll in through the nose and out through the nose, in through the lungs, and the body. Invite your shoulders to release, releasing tongue from the back of the teeth or the roof of the mouth. What is something you're grateful for? Let that image float in your mind, whether it's a person, place, or thing. Feel the experience of gratitude around your heart and your lungs. Feel how your breath moves when you focus on gratitude. Focus how easy it is to breathe in that space. Imagine if you could give the gift of gratitude to someone else. The ability for them to see things in their life to be grateful for, or even the thing that you are grateful for itself. There's many prayers going out into the world every day. How can we make two or more? How can we uphold and hold space not only for our prayers, but the blessings and prayers and energies of others? Fill your essence with that experience. If you could radiate gratitude, if gratitude could become contagious, how would that feel? I'll let you in on a little secret. Gratitude, just like fear, can that you do today, find some space of gratitude with it. Gratitude for being on your mat, gratitude for having 2 legs, gratitude for an abundance of things that you may have in your life. And then be willing to share those thoughts, those blessings, those prayers with others. Let that go, let that be an intention of your day to ride into the background of your mind. Start to feel and notice the breath again. Feel and notice the shoulders and the jaw again. So I ask you to stay with this yummy feeling for as long as you can.